And ask yourself, why are they asking this demon, this demon, ran and Ukraine? Think about it. Ask yourself, why are they asking this demon into this demon about those particular topics? Think about it.
Now, House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Gregory Meeks of New York. Mr. Chairman, thanks for the time.
Good to be with you, Brett.
I want to take you to Russia and the fallout from the war in Ukraine. How do you see from your perch Vladimir Putin at this time? Do you think that we'll start to see further crackdowns, uprisings because of the war in Ukraine?
Well, we certainly hope so, and I think we're starting to see that now as the Russian propaganda starts to disseminate right in front of them, because people can see for their own eyes, whether it's via the social media or et cetera, what is taking place. You see protests building. He's trying to recruit these individuals not from Moscow or St. Petersburg. He's trying to go to the far outskirts of those towns so that that folks don't get to know the truth. But if the truth continues to be revealed, I think that you'll see, and it's my hope that the Russian people stand up. And that's why you see men particularly, and women also, lining up at the airport right now trying to get out of there because they know that they could be sent to death with this Russian army. That troops are being killed on a regular basis because of the strong fight that the Ukrainians are putting up.
Yeah, the Washington Post writes that the U.S. has sent private warnings to Russia against using a nuclear weapon. The Biden administration has been sending messages to Moscow about the grave consequences that would follow the use of a nuclear weapon in Ukraine. Have you been briefed about those communications?
Well, I can't tell you what I've been briefed on in that regards, because that's all classified. But I can tell you that the president is resolved. This country is resolved. I can tell you that the Congress is united. My committee, of which we are closely aligned to make sure that there would be strong consequences if there is any type of nuclear weapon utilized by Russia. And so we are, I think that that kind of message is being communicated directly with the Russians to know that there will be severe consequences with the utilization of any type of nuclear weapon.
Let me take you to Iran. There are these nationwide protests. We've been reporting on them. They seem to be growing. Critics are saying that the Biden administration could be speaking out more to support these protests on the ground, but that perhaps the administration may be holding its collective tongue because it's still actively trying to get an Iran nuclear deal across the finish line. Is that how you see it?
No, not at all. I can tell you that right now there's no movement with the Iran nuclear deal because President Biden has refused to move some of the items that the Iranians want, like removing the Iranian Revolutionary Military Guard from the agreement. What is happening, and the only reason that the president is looking at this agreement and removing, and he's not going to give in to Iranians, is to try to prevent the Iranians from having a nuclear weapon. That's the key. Here the negotiations that are taking place, well, they're not taking place, that have been taking place, because right now it's at a pause. But the whole idea here is to prevent Iran from having a nuclear weapon. We know that now we don't have any eyes on them. We know that if they did, and they have now more uranium enriched that could give them at least one bomb. So we've got to get our eyes back in there. We've got to get the uranium out of there so that we can make sure that that does not happen. The alternative will be going to war, and we hope that there can be an agreement.
The alternative is going to war. You hear that? The alternative is going to war. They already have enough to make one bomb. You just said that. And you need to immediately stop them. The alternative is to go to war. Think about it.
To prevent war, but it's up to the Iranian people now, or the Iranian.
Stand back.
If there is any type of nuclear weapon utilized by Russia. And so we are, I think that No, not at all. I can tell you that the negotiations that are taking place, well, they're not taking place, that have been taking place, because right now it's at a pause. But the whole idea here is to prevent Iran from having a nuclear weapon. We know that now we don't have any eyes on them. We know that if they did, and they have now more uranium enriched that could give them at least one bomb. So we've got to get
They have enough enriched to give them at least one bomb.
our eyes back in there. We've got to get the uranium out of there so that we can make sure that that does not happen. The alternative, it will be going to war.
The alternative is war. That need to say any more? We say less.
And we hope that there can be an agreement to prevent war, but
Hope there's agreement. In other words, Iran doesn't agree, they're going to war.
it's up to the Iranian people now, or the Iranian, I should say, it's not the people, the Ayatollah, to determine whether or not they will agree with the agreement that was put on with the agree with the terms of the agreement that the United States allies and the United States have put up and put forward.
Well, let me play this for you. This is the Iranian president on 60 Minutes.
Are you open to a meeting with President Biden, a face-to-face?
نه ملاقات رو و نه مذاکره رو
I don't believe having a meeting or talk with him will be beneficial.
ما به دلیل
We cannot trust the Americans.
So why should we, the U.S., trust the Iranians when it comes to either an Iran nuclear deal?
Why should you devils trust the Iranians when you broke the deal? See how backwards it is? Bunch of lying devils and demons. It's pathetic, because that's a devil over the right with a black face, and that's what's so diabolical about this whole thing, because it makes you think that's one of us. That's a devil in blackface. Two devils. One a devil, one's a demon, one's a devil in blackface. Just listen to it. Listen to it.
Or what we're witnessing with these crackdowns on these protests?
Well, we're not trusting the Iranians. That's the whole idea. We want to make sure that we have the eyes on knowing.
You went in and stabilized Iran in the 1950s. You went in there and took the oil, just like you're taking Syria oil. Why are you taking Syrian oil? You don't belong in Syria. Why are you in that country taking oil? You're doing the same thing in Iran. When they kicked your ass out, 1979. You put the Shah, a dictator, when they were a democracy, got rid of their president, took their oil. You can't trust them. Yeah, you demons, we got to get rid of you.
What that program is. So when we were in the deal, we knew exactly what they were doing. We had cameras there that has been removed when we were out
Who got rid of the deal? Well, we were in the deal.
of the deal. We knew exactly how long it would take them, and at that time it was 14 to 16 months away from being able to have the kind of Ukrainian.
Ukrainian. Yeah, Ukrainian, that's right. You must be sleeping with Biden. Ukrainian. Ukrainian, that's a new one.
Uranium material, so that they can build this nuclear weapon without eyes. We don't know. With eyes, with the inspections and 24-hour, 24/7 watching what they're doing, we have more control and can prevent them from having a nuclear weapon. And that's the whole idea. It has nothing to do with trying to have it or appease them or have some kind of deal or want to talk to them in that regard. The only thing it has to do with is preventing them from having a nuclear weapon.
Iranians didn't enslave you. Russia didn't enslave you. And the devil owed you a right. He enslaved you, your daddy, your brothers. Dumb. These people crack me up. These beasts crack me up. They do. I mean, it's funny. I'm really funny.
Let me take you to the upcoming midterm election. A lot of polls obviously flying at us as we're getting closer and closer to November. Here's an NBC poll on issues. Which party would do a better job on various issues? Republicans leading significantly on border security, crime, the economy. Democrats lead on health care and the abortion. When you look at that, are you concerned, considering the economy and crime and immigration, frankly, are big concerns in a lot of the country?
But there's a lot of concerns throughout the country, but no, I'm not, because when I look at what Democrats have done, and I've looked at what President Biden had promised, we see.
Yeah, abortion, mass incarceration. Just to name two, sending jobs overseas. Three strikes law. 4, college tuition through the roof. 5. That's just some of your great policies that the Democrats have, Mr. Democrat, Democrat.
That those promises that met are promises that's kept. That's what he made with the American people. Those are things that are of interest to them. Despite the fact that we've come out of this pandemic, when we were in the pandemic, he worked hard with the CARES program and to make sure that individuals who are suffering from it, suffering from and dying from the pandemic, would get the kind of aid that they needed to get them through it. We've done that.
Like you demons, you wouldn't suffer from it. I didn't suffer from it.
But then when you look at the bipartisan infrastructure bill, when you look at what we just passed, the Inflation Reduction Act, when you look at the PACT Act for the military, when you look at how we are fighting and moving together just yesterday.
Yeah, Bush and drag queens. What you call it? You don't know if you're male or female and all that stuff.
Today, Congress voted to make sure that we do help our local police, et cetera, with dollars so that they can firm themselves up.
Right.
So those things, we're creating jobs. You know, when you think about the CHIPS Act.
Well, let me ask you about the police thing real quickly, Mr. Chairman. When some members of the squad oppose that police bill, does that hurt Democrats? You had the CBC chair, Joyce Beatty, say it came a long way. She endorsed it, but you had others speaking out against it. And obviously Republicans using the defund the police mantra that was big over the past months and years in the squad on Capitol Hill.
Well, all I can say about that is you might have had 4 Democrats that voted against it. You had over 68 Republicans that voted against it. So, if you just look at the numbers, so overwhelmingly, 98%, 99% of Democrats voted for it.
Yeah.
Substantially more Republicans voted against it.
And you think it'll get through?
That speaks for itself. I do. I think that they'll pass in the Senate, and we'll get it on the president's desk, and the president will sign it.
Get rid of those demons.
Mr. Chairman, we appreciate your time, as always.
Thank you for having me.
Gotta get rid of these demons. Oh. It's